It's Monday night,
and you're watching
The Voice!
And here is contestant number 1, David Ricardo. It was once said by Ricardo, quote, "There can be no rise in the value of labor without a fall of profits." His largest economic accomplishment, titled On the Principles of Political Economy and Taxation, an analysis of the distribution of a fixed amount of wealth among 3 classes. David Ricardo was a classical economist known for his iron law of wages, labor theory of value, theory of comparative advantage, and theory of rents. His most famous work was his essay on the influence of a low price of corn on the profits of stock. Ricardo articulated what came to be known as the law of diminishing marginal returns. Thank you, David!
Contestant number 2, Adam Smith. Adam Smith once said, "No society can surely be flourishing and happy of which the far greater part of members are poor and miserable." Some of Adam Smith's economic accomplishments was an economist and philosopher who wrote what is considered the Bible of capitalism, The Wealth of Nations, in which he details the first system of political economy. Some of the theories that Adam Smith had was he laid the foundations of classical free market economic theory, and some of his famous works were also The Wealth of Nations.
And contestant number 3, John Maynard Keynes. Keynes once said, quote, "In the long run, we are all dead," end quote. He is best known for his economic theories on the causes of prolonged unemployment. His most important work, The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, advocated a remedy for economic recession based on a government-sponsored policy of full employment. He also believed in economic theory of total spending in the economy and its effects on output and inflation. Thank you, John. And contestant number 4, Thomas Malthus. Malthus once said, "The superior power of population cannot be checked without producing misery or vice," end quote. Malthus argued in his essay that the population growth generally expanded in times and in regions of plenty until the size of population relative to the primary resources caused distress. Thomas Robert Malthus was the first economist to propose a systematic theory of population. The reputation of the English economist endured because of his work, An Essay on the Principle of Population, published in 1798. Thank you, Thomas!